Hello viewer, and welcome back to Durhamshire. Oh go on then, it's County Durham really, in the northeast of England. I'm on my second permission, brand new, with a brand new machine. I came up here the other day with the Garrett Ace 250 that I've had for 6 months, only seriously being used for 4 or 5 weeks, and after one insignificant find, it just suddenly went into a bleeping frenzy. Totally went crazy and berserk and died. So death by 1,000 bleeps, you could say. Anyway, I got off Amazon, contacted them, explained the problem. They said, yeah, box it up, send it back and I'll give you a full refund. So I bought a Mine Lab, the Go Find 66 from Leisure Promotions here in the UK. It's a bit gimmicky, but for the money I paid for it, that's as much as I want to pay for a machine. I've got other things I could spend 600-700 quid on. You know what I mean. So what I've got here is this field. I don't want to expand too much or it'll give away where I'm at. There's a huge landmark over to my right. So amongst these hawthorn trees here, there are the remains of 3 miners' cottages which I've traced back to the late 17th century, and 500 metres or so that 100 metres or so that way was a pit, coal mine, colliery, call them what you will. They're called pits in the UK. So it is listed on the Durham Mining Museum website. However, there aren't any details as to the depth of the shaft, etc, etc, how many seams it cut through, which tells me it was a rather old one, probably 17th, early 18th, I'll get it right, 18th, early 19th century probably. I'm hoping, because a lot of the later collieries had their own coke ovens, so to maximise the yield, they produce coke, get off the town gas, sell the coke to the big iron works that was up further up the valley up in Concert. So now the 3 miners' cottages, somewhere there'll be a dump, bottles, jars, you name it, no wheelie bins in those days. So it's a matter of trying to fathom out where they would site the dump. I'm not going to purposely look for it. If I come across it, I'll have a look. So, and that bit there, you can't really see it under the gorse bushes, or winnie bushes as they're known around here, is a railway embankment. Well, it was more or less a colliery wagon way. It wasn't the standard gauge 4'8.5" railway. It was just some sort of narrow gauge. I'll have to swat up and see what sort of wagons they use, probably coal tubs, I don't know. But yeah, that is a railway embankment. It's badly eroded in places with water erosion. I think water erosion down here. Not that we've had much water recently. So anyhow, I'm going to have a crack on in this field. I'm on high ground. Across to the west of where I am, within a couple of miles, is Deer Street, the Roman route from York up to Hadrian's Wall. So it is Roman country-ish. And of course there was the Saxons came over here, the Vikings looted and pillaged over here, and then for a good few centuries our Scottish cousins from the north came down marauding. Now, what the difference is between the Viking rooting and pillaging and the Scots marauding is, I don't know, it's probably much the same thing. Anyhow, I'm going to crack on, try this new machine out and see what I can find. I'll catch you then. Wow, that's good, isn't it? Piece of scrap. Oh well, never mind. Tell you a lesson I've learned here. If you're going to come out on a sunny day wearing reaction specs that go very, very dark, have a think, because I can barely I can barely see the viewfinder on this camera. It's So there's a lesson learned. I'll have to bring me clear ones. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Iron signal in the clod. Rather large clod. Like that. Rust. Wow. A screw. A square head screw. A rather large one. First theory that comes to mind with this is screwing rail saddles onto wooden railway sleepers. Possibly. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, there we go, another piece of iron. Move on, crack on, etc, etc. Hello again. Well, I thought I'd do a bit of a roundup after that dig yesterday. Several things went wrong, one of them being that I actually left the video camera running for best part of 45 minutes while I was looking through the signals, and time I went to use it again, and anyhow it ran out of battery, and I'd left my mobile phone in the car, so I couldn't video it. That's the piece of scrap I found. Insignificant, total rubbish. This thing gave us, you wouldn't believe, this gave the scratchiest of signals. I very nearly didn't dig it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's too heavy to be a piece of furnace slag. I think a bit of clinker. I think that's a bit of pig iron. Off an iron bloom. I don't know, maybe wrong. Scrap anyhow. The metal screw that I found, that's actually steel. I thought it might have been used to screw rail saddles down onto wooden railway sleepers. It's possible. Again, not really sure. I found a piece of a horseshoe. Or at least I think it's a piece of a horseshoe. It's made out of wrought iron, which in the 19th century was the metal of choice, as steel was expensive to produce, until Henry Bessemer came up with his converter. Now you can tell it's wrought iron. It has a very coarse grain structure, and this piece here, if I can point it properly, that's actually carbon. So what they would do, they would smelt iron ore in some sort of makeshift smelting device, tap it off, just pour it on the ground really, and that became known as a bloom, an iron bloom. And what the local blacksmiths would do was to hack a piece off, heat it up, and just start to hammer it and hammer it and hammer it, and all the impurities in the iron, the slag and the carbon, used to ooze out of the side. And then they'd fold it over and heat it up and just continue to hammer it, and as I say, everything used to ooze out the side. It was mass produced in ironworks, but they used rollers, but local blacksmiths would just hammer it. Now you can see the grain structure there, very coarse grain structure, like, I can't get this pen, I'm looking through the view, that's it. You can see the grain there. So I think anyhow that is a part of a horseshoe, because most everyday metal objects were wrought iron. As I've said, steel was very expensive. There, you can just about make out the grain there in this piece here. There's a Dutch blacksmith on YouTube called Joey van der Steeg. Did a few videos. It's a tutorial on how to make wrought iron. It's well worth watching. Quite fascinating process actually. That's my bit of horseshoe. Another some sort of spike or a bloody big nail, one of the two. Nothing of significance. Now, on my first permission I got, I dashed up there last week, and when I got there was no memory card in the camera. I'd left that at home, and I had very little charge on my mobile phone, so I didn't dare use that in the video. Only I found my first coin. Wow, 2003 penny. There you go. Queen Elizabeth's on there somewhere. The other thing I found was this little shard of bronze. It's got that lovely bronze patina that you can see if I can get it into the light. And it certainly looks to me like it's part of a cast. It's been cast into some sort of shape, and if I've looked at certain photographs that I've taken close-ups, that looks like a face, but I'm probably imagining things. So now a little shard of bronze. And catch the light, you can see that patina. Lovely. And this decorative item, which had me quite puzzled, actually broke it. It was stuck in the ground, was like concrete. It's the same all over the country at the moment. It's made on copper, and as you can see it's got decoration there with some sort of enamel sort of infill, but it's been stamped. Why is the autofocus not working all of a sudden? It's actually been stamped out, and it's probably the Fines Liaison Officer in Durham suggests it's probably part of a decorative horse harness with some sort of leather strap that went through there. I don't know. But there we go. They're the only finds of any significance I've found apart from scrap, is that little shard of copper. Copper, bronze, that's copper, and that's bronze. That lovely brown, like, you know, the bronze statues you get. Yeah, it's the same pattern, isn't it? But there you go. County Durham for me hasn't thrown up anything valuable yet, but it will. When I can get onto my first, the fields on my first permission that are cropped, right on top of Day Street. That's the one I'm looking forward to. I've been up to see the farmer, and he will be harvesting next month, all being well. And it's nearly next month now, isn't it? Yeah, I just thought that. So anyhow, thanks for watching, if anybody has watched. And I would also like to say thanks to the people who've subscribed to my channel since I put my first video up. I've got a lad in Australia, I've got someone in the USA, Canada, and there are still a few subscribers on the channel from when I was a drone flyer, and I'll have to get the drone up actually and get some aerial footage of what I'm doing. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.